Greetings, everybody. Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. When we finished the last chapter, and I glanced at the Chronicles, I realized that we had a little bit of... we were actually a pinch ahead of Chronicles, because that whole reaction of Khadgar at Netherguard Keep, that's talked about in Chronicles, but just... so we have a catch-up to do. Just a pinch. So one of them, before we actually talk about it, there's this one here called The Return of Garona, so stay a while and listen to this one. I don't know that Garona is mentioned much in this novel or the game at all. I think this is all Chronicles retconning her back into the timeline so that she's doing things, or maybe it'll allude to things all along. Let's see. In the waning months of the Second War, Garona had wandered the land on her own. She could still feel the Shadow Council's dark presence in her mind trying to bend her thoughts. She could not trust her actions around friend or foe. Slowly, patiently, she fought her way back into control, shrugging away as many of Gul'dan's lingering mental chains as she could. Finally, she was confident she could resist the Shadow Council's orders. That meant Garona was ready to visit the one person she still trusted in the world, Khadgar. Under the cover of darkness, she infiltrated Netherguard Keep and snuck into Khadgar's private quarters as he slept. They had not seen each other since their battle against Medivh. They had much to discuss. Garona told him of her activities during the Second War, and she also openly confessed to assassinating King Lane. Khadgar believed her when she said she had been compelled to do it by Gul'dan. He could sense the Shadow Council's mangled spellwork still woven through her thoughts. Also in the book, Medivh messed up with her mind too. The presence of these dark enchantments proved something else. At least one member of the Shadow Council was still alive and on Azeroth. Were that not the case, the spells would have lost their potency the moment Gul'dan had died. Someone was trying to maintain his links to his old puppets. So here's another reason why we're doing this. This is another reason why Khadgar is tipped off to the machinations that are going on Azeroth, separate apart from the Dark Portal reopening plot. Over several months, Khadgar secretly met with Garona outside Netherguard Keep, carefully unraveling the Shadow Council's hold on her. He was successful. Garona, for the first time in her life, was free. So that's probably also important and something that's talked about in later books and expansions and stuff, but maybe not touched upon as far back as this one. In gratitude, Garona offered to do whatever she could to hunt down the Shadow Council on Azeroth. Khadgar eagerly accepted. Of late, he had been sensing strange energies radiating from the nearby rift, and he was concerned that forces on Draenor were working to expand it. He asked Garona to remain in the area hidden from the Alliance while he investigated. So what happens next is then eventually he realizes, yes, that's happening. He summons the Alliance. So all this is happening before the first chapter that we read, which is what leads me to believe that it's not in the book or the game. All right, but it is interesting backstory for Garona and Khadgar. But this episode, in the pipe, 5x5. Thanks everybody for listening. I'll see you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.